Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the FarmIQ quarterly webinar for November 2025. And so we'll just warm our way into things at the moment. We'll just give people a few minutes to start getting in and just logging in and getting started. But yeah, just from my perspective, welcome to, we've got about 45 minutes to run through some of the new features that FarmIQ has released in the last quarter. We've got quite a few, so we'll be moving reasonably quickly through them. And so I'd just like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to be here with us at lunchtime. Trust that depending on where you are in the country, that things are going well, particularly in the southern south and up through into North Canterbury as well. So just as a bit of an intro to what we're up to, please, as with all webinars, please feel free to enter any chat or any Q&A items as we work our way through the presentation. We've got a bunch of new features, like I was saying, so we'll work through those. You will see there's a chat and a Q&A features within it. Please just put up any questions that you might have up there as we work our way through it as well. We've got some polls with this as well, and so we've got a few questions there. What new features and enhancements do you most want to see on the FarmIQ mobile app? And so please feel free to work your way through some of these polls. I can kick that one off now in terms of, we want to get good feedback from our users around what else do you want to see in the FarmIQ app going forward from there. So let's rip into it. So we'll run through some introductions, we'll run through the new mobile features that we have, we'll run through some of the new web features, including NZFAP and NZFAP Plus dashboard, have a bit of a thing about updating your app, and then we'll have a bit of a Q&A session going from there. So my name is Craig Trotter. I am the B2B channel specialist at FarmIQ. I've been at FarmIQ sort of coming up 5 years now. Most of my role was working with integration partners and other companies associated that we can, with FarmIQ, that we can create integrations with. And so, really excited working with other companies around creating integrations to make our users' everyday lives much easier. Some of the new ones we've had recently, Fonterra, Gallagher and Tapari, these sort of integrations, and so working closely with companies and users to work through those integrations and different companies' collaborations over the last few years. I'll pass on through to Rebecca Kelsall.
Hi, thanks, Craig. So I'm one of the inbound sales and onboarding specialists alongside Libby, who's up next. So I'm probably the newest team member of FarmIQ. So I started back in January. My main kind of job with FarmIQ is getting people onboarded and making sure that their kind of start of FarmIQ is as smooth as possible. And we get you onboarded as well as we can. So I've got quite an extensive background in dairy farming primarily, and I've obviously from the UK originally, and I've been over here for a few years now. I'll pass over to Libby.
Cool, thanks Rebecca. Good afternoon everyone. I'm Libby and I'm one of FarmIQ's inbound sales and onboarding specialists, and I predominantly look after our North Island farmers. So I have a background of sheep and beef farming, and I'm originally from Canterbury. However, I am now in the beautiful Wairarapa, living on a sheep and beef hill property here with my partner. I've also got experience in dairy, mainly from my uni holiday jobs and working as a vet tech at a dairy-only clinic down in Ashburton, as well as the odd season calf rearing. And I joined FarmIQ about 4 years ago, just over, initially in the support team and then moved into the sales and onboarding space. Cool. So I'm going to crack straight into it today because, like Craig said, I've got a lot going on. So I'll make a start on the new mobile features. And there are quite a few to report since our last webinar, as the mobile has been a massive priority of ours, and this is due to your feedback. So we know you want to do more and more on the mobile app, and we've been listening and delivering. So make sure that your FarmIQ mobile app is up to date as well, so that you can utilise these new features. And please, if you've got any questions, as Craig said, pop them in the chat or in the Q&A, and if you do have to shoot off early, we'll be sending out the recording afterwards, so it'll be there for you guys. Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to start on the stock side of things, so the stock recording on the mobile app, and we'll start with weights. So being able to record your average weights on the mobile app. And I'm really, really happy to see this released, as a lot of you guys have been asking for it. So with this one, you can now record your mob's average weight on the app via the map, the same way as all of your other stock activities. So if you've got your mobs on the map, click on the stock in the paddock and then hit activities. And then there is the new weights option down the bottom of the list there. And you can enter in your average weight, and the system will calculate the total weight based on your selected tally. You can also add in optional details such as your time off pasture for the stock and the category. So for example, weaning, which can be entered if you did want that weight to be used in the reports such as your repo reports or some other weight reports as well. You can also add in any notes and upload any pictures or attachments if necessary, just like all your other events. Another great feature that has come from this new release of recording weights on the new mobile app is the ability to record events against the entire mob from the stock list. So now in the stock list, rather than that blue plus stock button that you've got there, you'll see a blue plus activities button, which includes our adding stock activities as well as the weigh event. So this is where you can record an average weight for the whole mob. It's especially handy if the average weight event relates to a mob that may be spread out over multiple paddocks, as you can record it all in the one event. It is likely that we will add the ability to record other activities or events from the stock list too. So we're really keen to get your feedback. Hopefully a poll will be coming up shortly for you asking which stock recording events should we prioritise bringing to that stock list next. So if that has come up while you're filling that out, these average weights will pull through to your mob history on the web. And if you want to find the last weigh event for a mob on the mobile app, you can see it by clicking on the mob from the stock list too. So you've got it all in the palm of your hand when you need that information out on farm. Cool. Moving on to found stock. So we've added quite a bit of, well, we've updated the stock screen here. So we've had a good cleanup, making it a nice clear view of your stock totals, and have added the found stock option under activities here. So this found stock option is useful to record the addition of stock that isn't a birth or a purchase event, and it helps you keep your stock rec up to date. It also means that those animals are available to record future activities against, such as an animal health treatment. Cool. Moving on to the health and safety features that have been added or updated. So task and hazard location. So now you can create task and hazards and include a location for these. So all of it from the mobile app. This is another really exciting one for me because I have had so many requests for this feature and it's now possible. So I'll talk about the task location first. So we'll stay on this slide. So on the mobile app, when creating a task from the task tab, you can add a location, and it can be a dot, a line, or a shape, depending on the nature of your task. You can view your location on the map when you add your location to the task if you want to include your exact location. You just have to find that spot on the map. You can still add all of your the same other features to the task, such as ensuring you assign the correct staff, add a checklist or a photo, or any other notes or categories. I'll just give you a quick example to explain the value of this location feature for tasks. So say I could create a task and assign it to my worker to say either put up a new brake fence or show them the location of an area of fencing that needs fixing. And then I can add the exact location of this fence by drawing a line on the map so that now they know exactly where they need to go. And then say now I'm the worker, I've got a notification of a new task due and I'm going to complete this task, and I know it has a location attached to it, so I can go directly to the map and ensure my tasks layer is turned on, and I can actually now see the task and the location of it on the map versus my current location. I can see a summary of the task, I can view the task full details and edit or complete it from the map once the task has been done. So it means there's really less room for error when it comes to finding the location of the task, and I can complete it confidently knowing that I've got all the information I need all within that FarmIQ app. So that's really cool. And then the hazard location is similar to the task location. So cool, we're on to that hazard slide. So when recording a hazard, you can view your location on the main map screen, and then you can go to the More Tools tab, Health and Safety, record a hazard and add the location there. This is really good for ensuring that you have the exact location of a hazard recorded as soon as it's found. Staff can then be notified of any new hazards recorded and can see the hazard on the map if they turn their hazard layer on. This also means hazards are already in the system when it comes to adding in your finer details for that hazard later on, maybe on the web, and then you don't have to try and remember that exact location down the track. Just some additional functionality here is that we've added for hazard locations the ability to mix and match the shape types under the same hazard type. So for example, because that's a bit confusing, say if I have waterways as my hazard type, then hazard within waterways, I can create a different shape. So my wells or springs could be drawn by a dot, my creeks could be a line, and then a dam or an effluent pond could be a shape. This just ensures that the hazard's location has been represented correctly and to its entirety on the map there. Cool. I'm going to move on to broadcasting location now. So this is a cool new feature that the team have created initially for health and safety purposes. So you can broadcast your current location to tell people where you are by clicking the megaphone icon on the top right of your map. So it uses your phone's GPS to drop a pin and send that location to other FarmIQ users on your farm. Once you have broadcasted your location, and you move away, it won't actually track you. So it will only broadcast where you were at that point in time. So this can be used for a range of things, such as notifying your staff of your location if you're injured, if you're out of fuel, if you've got a vehicle stuck, or I don't know, say a down car or a water leak, or as general as meet me here, as you can actually add in a wee note there if necessary. So this feature is designed for actions that really should be resolved relatively quickly. It's a broadcast location will stay on the map for only 72 hours or 3 days, and that's only if no one has already resolved it. And it doesn't stay in the system as a record either. So that's where it slightly differs from a task, because the task will stay in the system as a record even once complete or overdue. So Craig, we're good to go to that wee video. So your broadcast location will be sent to all staff by default, or you can override and send to specific staff, and it'll notify their phones if they've got their notifications turned on. So it's a really good time to check in with your staff and make sure that they have FarmIQ notifications turned on within the app and also within their phone settings. So you can do all of this from the app under the More Tools tab. Cool. Staff will also see the broadcast on their app's map if they have that layer turned on, so they know exactly where to find you, which you can see in the video. And then, urgent broadcasts will appear in red and non-urgent in orange. So that's me. I will pass on to Rebecca, who will go over some of the land features on the mobile app.
Hello. So yeah, a much requested improvement to the farm map is better up-to-date map imagery. So we've expanded the range of land imagery providers available on the FarmIQ mobile app. So this means that you can now switch between multiple imagery sources, such as Mapbox, ArcGIS, and LINZ. Depending on your farm location, you can now choose which map you prefer to view on your FarmIQ. So you may have added sheds, built houses, or changed fencing on farm. So to have the option to be able to view this updated map, depending on whether your local provider has updated that, you can now see this on your FarmIQ map. So to get this, you click on the top right layers button and select which satellite imagery provider you prefer. But please note how up-to-date the map imagery is depends on your local imagery provider. And then going on to the block group layers. So we've also added the ability to view block groups on your mobile app. So this is a feature only available to view on the web. So you can now toggle the block groups on and off, and also toggle individual block groups on or off. So we've also included a clear coloured legend to make an ease of viewing the feature. And to turn this on your mobile app, you go into the layers button on the top right-hand side of your mobile app and enable the blocks feature. And then please note that you must set up the block groups on your computer first to be able to view them on your app. Now, going on to weather. So the weather's been a bit hit and miss in recent weeks. So how handy is it now that it's at your fingertips in the mobile app, especially when you're wanting to plan tasks throughout the week, save those inside jobs for those wet and windy days. So using Open Meteo's forecast service, we've added the ability to see current weather as well as the predicted 7-day forecast for your farm's precise location. So you can toggle this feature on and off via your layers button on the top right-hand side, and then you will see the weather icon appear on the top left of your map screen. So you can open this up to view a more in-depth view of your weather forecast. I know my weather is looking great until the end of the week. And then for the spot spraying, so the next couple of features I'm going to discuss involve the location tools functionality on your mobile app. So first of all, another highly requested feature on the mobile app is spot spraying. So this feature allows you to record in more detail and track exactly how much product that you've applied during each spot spraying session. So by tapping the location tools button on the bottom left-hand corner of your farm map, you can select the map placement. You can then either use My Trial, which enables the app to draw your location trial by using the GPS of your phone. You must allow the app to use your location for this to work. You can also pause at any time to allow areas to be spot sprayed. You can also tap on manually spray to mark spot spraying on your location. And then as you move around the farm, you can then continue each time you spray. You can then record this as a land note or as a chemical application. You can then view these spots later in the diary and the mini map. And then the other location tool now available is the ability to measure on the map by drawing on the map rather than just walking with the device. So if you need to measure out a break fence area, or maybe you need to fix a fence and need to know the length of the wire required, you can now do this on the mobile app without the need for a tape measure or a calculator or even walking the area. So on the mobile app, you can plot 2 or more points on the map to measure lengths and calculate areas where needed. You can then easily remove points and redraw points as you go. Again, in the location tools button on the bottom left-hand corner of your farm map, select the measure tool and then click drawing on the map. Find the area you want to measure on your map and job done. Pretty easy. So now I'll pass on to Craig.
Awesome, thanks guys. Yeah, that's great. And so yeah, just keeping on with some of the enhancements and new features that we've released in this last quarter. Another one is checklists. And so we've been able to, we've had checklists in for a while, but we've revamped it and made it a lot easier and simpler to use. And so one of the features around this is to be able to create your own custom checklist for asset management, maintenance, or health and safety purposes. And so, we've made it a fully customizable questions, and so you can just free text in terms of what sort of questions that you want to answer, or you want staff, let's say, to answer in regards to different checklists. One of the cool features is that you can add photos or videos for any visual learners, and so say, pick an example, say start up with the milking shed in the mornings. You can add photos or videos of where different buttons are or different levers and things that need to be clicked on or pushed and in the right process or right manner to get the shed going. Really important to ensure standards are being met and whatever they might be. And so again, particularly for health and safety reasons, making sure that there are those checklists done prior to starting up machinery, let's say. Really important to take care of your gear, and we know that a lot of users have used, let's say, weekly maintenance checks for motorbikes or equipment on farms. And so, we can utilize this enhanced feature now of checklist functionality to really make sure that staff on farm can look after the gear and equipment. Can be used for whatever you wish. And then so this time of year, of course, it's all about birds' nests. And so too often we do lose the odd tractor, let's say, to birds' nests. And particularly this time of year when there's a lot of machinery on farm, a lot of diesel being burnt. And so, having these checklist items in place to make sure that people do check for the bird's nest prior to starting out the tractor and getting stuck into it, really, really important. And we can use the checklist functionality for that. Same thing for some of our bigger operators. They might want to use this for tenancy health checks. And so, definitely you can set up a checklist agenda items to be able to meet those requirements to make sure that your asset in your house is being looked after. Another feature around woolshed preparation for shearing. Absolutely, we can make sure that everything's ready to go for when the shearers turn up first thing in the morning and they're ready for shearing. How to go about it on the web, click on Office, Assets, select the different assets, whatever that might be, manage checklists, and then create the checklist associated with that asset, and then on the mobile asset checklist and get stuck in from there. So a really cool feature enhancement that we have released of late. We've also really made the diary searchable, and it's a really great feature as well. And so now for any of your diary events, you can search for any of those items. And so quickly find records, even if you have to go scroll back in time. Now on the top right-hand side, there's a magnifying glass added to the diary for really quick access. And so you can, it might be paddock details or drench records or whatever that might be. The diary is now searchable, basically, in that regard. And so, really cool feature. Again, making that information easy access and easy to use is what we're all about at FarmIQ. So a cool enhancement made to the diary on mobile around that one. Few updates as well is something that we've been working away. We've had this, and as both Rebecca and Libby have said, some of these features that we are releasing have been widely requested, and it's awesome to be able to release these going forward. And so one of these ones is updates around fuel. So you can record your pump's lifetime total litres and total usage over that time frame. And so it's an enhancement made to the fuel top-ups functionality, makes it possible to audit fuel usage, check that fuel top-up amounts line up with the cumulative pump records. And so you're trying to make sure or reduce the possibility of or understand if fuel might be being flogged from your farm. And so, a really cool feature in terms of functionality and being able to get a good comprehensive understanding of what fuel usage is, and making sure that spot any potential discrepancies, making sure that accuracy records are being kept up to date, and ultimately detect if any fuel has been flogged from some of the farm fuel bowsers. So it is a web-only functionality, that one, and so with the report that we have available there. So no, it's pretty cool. One of the major features that we have released of late is the NZFAP and NZFAP Plus dashboard. And so we know that many of our users, particularly our sheep and beef users, will be interested or will be signed up to be in either NZFAP or NZFAP Plus members. And so to assist with that in regards to audit time, we have created a dashboard to try to make it much more usable and functional in terms of being able to keep up to date with meeting those assurance requirements. So NZFAP and NZFAP Plus, there's 3 tiers that's managed by the NZFAI. Many of our users, as I said before, are NZFAP or perhaps NZFAP Plus or Gold members. All of these can be recorded in FarmIQ going forward, and I'll show a quick demonstration of how the dashboard operates in a moment. We know that some processes and some programs offer an incentive for NZFAP Plus, and so this is an integration that we've released just in the last couple of months, and we've been working really closely with the team at the NZFAI around creating this integration and creating this digital dashboard for NZFAP and or NZFAP Plus. It is really important that only current members of NZFAP or NZFAP Plus will be able to access the dashboard, and so how we can go about setting that up in FarmIQ. On the web version, you can click on Office, there's an Integrations tab there, click Edit. That's where you would enter your NZFAP membership number. That will then save that, and that will then send a notification through to the team at NZFAI around ensuring that that you are either an NZFAP or NZFAP Plus member. Which membership you have of those programs will then get sent through to us, and you'll see a dashboard icon appear in your FarmIQ web account. And I've just got a bit of a video here, and I'll click on this. And so, once access has been granted or approved, let's say by the NZFAI, you'll see this little dashboard turn up into your web account here. And so that's the dashboard. Let this run through. I've got on the left-hand side here, I've got these chapters, or these pillars of NZFAP, and so we've got some basic instructions at the very top, a bit of a disclaimer, some functionality or some useful instructions around how to utilize the dashboard, and then some instructions for our light users as well. One of the awesome features of this is we have made it available across all the packs. And so if you are a Light, Essentials, Performance Plus or Pro member of FarmIQ, we don't care. We're making this available to all users. And so it's really cool in that regard. We've got the different pillars down on here. Like I said before, I'll click on this one here. This will flow through to the oranges and traceability one here, and this then is a list of all the requirements that are a part of NZFAP. And so we've made this as clearly usable and functional as we can. We've been able to we've kept it up to date with the new standards as met as of the 1st of October. We can see each of those requirements here. We can click on some of these, and for this example, we'll click on the ASD forms here and this one here. And so it follows through into the ASD forms. ASD forms must be retained for a minimum of 5 years. Oakley dokley, I can keep that up to date. We can we've got some sort of helpful tips around trying to how we can record that in FarmIQ. But the cool functionality with this is you do not have to use all the features in FarmIQ available for this. You can drag and drop any attachments. These are set as tasks on the FarmIQ mobile, and so you can take photos of anything that might be required to be provided as evidence to help support your membership status for the NZFAP come audit time. And so we've got some helpful tips here. We can add some completion notes around this one here. And so confirmed ASD photos attached to all the season stock records. I save that, then I can mark that as complete, and it's ticked off for me in that regard. And so it will feature through this in terms of completing it. It has a date stamp, a time stamp of what that is, and I've completed that requirement. And so it's a really cool feature that we've made available to any NZFAP or NZFAP Plus members. Had pretty good uptake with that going forward. And so, yeah, keen to get it out there and get it used to help make things a bit simpler come audit time for NZFAP or NZFAP Plus. So that's a lot of the features that FarmIQ has released in this last quarter. But as we are always, we're never a finished product. We're always making improvements. We're always making enhancements, and we're always bringing out more functionality. And so now we're just going to run through some of the other features that's coming up next. And I'll get Libby to kick into this one.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Craig. So this is just a wee list of what we've got coming up on the mobile roadmap at the moment. So first off, mob history on the mobile. So this will be a great asset to the mobile app. So just being able to look back at a mob's history, super valuable to have all of this information in your hand on your phone. And then adding in the feed inventory and feeding events on the app. So that will mean you can maintain and feed out supplementary feed from the mobile. And then also adding and enhancing existing features, such as adding in a rainfall graph and activity recording. So that's basically where you can record events from the likes of your stock list rather than just on the map. And then as well, we've got toolbox health and safety meetings. So I saw this somewhere on one of the polls, someone wanted something like this. So rather than recording them in the instant interactions, we're going to try and make its own meeting there on the mobile app. Same with adding your grazing stock via the mobile. And as well as that, we're still working on adding batches to the inventory using photos. So again, this is another highly requested feature. And again, I saw this come up on a poll today. So something we are working on. And please send through all of your enhancements and things that you want to get added in, because we definitely look at them and we do try and get them in if possible. If you do see something new on the app, give it a crack and have a play, because we are adding quite a bit of new stuff on there. So just take a look and see if it's something you've been wanting or something that you will use. Cool. And then I think we've got the web roadmap after this, don't we?
Cool. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. Thank you, Libby. So just the new sort of functionality you're going to be releasing out on the web app around. One of the very, very cool ones is around withholding periods on animals within paddocks, not showing up on whole mobs. And so that has been a challenge for many users for a while now. So let's say product withholds that for mobs that are split across multiple paddocks. We have had some challenges in the past where if a part mob was drenched, then it put that withhold across the whole mob. And so the dev team have been working away with that, and we've creating a solution to be able to resolve that. So really excited about that, to bring that additional functionality. And so the withhold logo on the mobile and on the desktop app as well, will only show on those animals that have been treated in that paddock, not on the whole mob. So, really excited to bring that one out. Fecal egg counts into mob history as well. We've seen of late, particularly, a really push against drench resistance and some of these challenges we're seeing across the sheep and beef industries. Working on some functionality, but one of them is around recording fecal egg counts in FarmIQ. We've always been able to do that, but we'll build in that functionality of that fecal egg count record being recorded in the mob history. So, a really cool feature functionality to have available going forward. We will also working through an integration with TrueTest and DataMars, and so we have integrations with other weighing platform providers, and so we've built out that integration functionality with other platform providers, but working with the team at TrueTest and DataMars to be able to build that integration too going forward. Just working with the team at TrueTest and DataMars to be able to build that cloud-based integration. And so that is moving away from the current Bluetooth integration that we have between the XR3000 or XR5000, moving into that cloud-based integration. So really looking forward to having that available. Like I said, just working closely with the team at TrueTest and DataMars to release that hopefully sometime in the future. For our dairy farm users as well. Again, another really exciting integration opportunity is working with the team at LIC. And so many, of course, of our dairy farm users will be using Minder. We've started opening the records, opening the books in terms of being able to look at opportunities to integrate elements of Minder, say stock records, into FarmIQ. So again, a long requested integration, something that we're working on and looking to release in the next little while, let's say. So no, really cool, some additional pieces of functionality and available to our users into the future. One of the really important things, ladies and gentlemen, is to just please make sure that you update the app, because we regularly release app updates. We really do, probably monthly, let's say. And so some of the challenges that we have had with some users is that they've been ringing up or requesting some additional functionality, and it was something that we released 6 months ago, but they hadn't released or they hadn't updated their app at their end. And so please make sure that you keep up to date, you keep your apps up to date. FarmIQ is always about being better, building those enhancements, building more integrations, and so we will be regularly improving the app functionality, as you've seen over the last 12 to 18 months. So please really make sure, as you can, make sure that you keep your app updated. Really critically important. Right, a bit of a Q&A session. I realise, folks, that we've gone through plenty of functionality, and it's been a really exciting quarter at FarmIQ to release all of that information. Fully understand we went through that pretty fast. So yeah, now it's just a bit of an opportunity to run through some Q&A, and if anyone's got anything, please feel free to chuck that on the chat or the Q&A, and we'll get stuck in and go from there.
Craig, I see there's a question there from Simon asking what Minder events will be integrated. Do we know that much detail yet?
No, not yet. Sorry, Simon. Probably just the next update we'll be able to give a bit more clarity on that. But we just opened the looking under each other's hoods to have a look into that. But we'll be in touch as we can around what that looks like in a bit more detail going forward.
Cool. And there's one here from Bronson asking, do users on your farm get a notification when new hazards or tasks are made to remind them to turn on their layers? No, there's not a notification to remind them to turn on their layer. if you've got it turned on already on your mobile app, so the layers you've got turned on, they'll stay on. They won't disappear like on the computer, and you have to have your saved layers. Whatever you've last had, put up on your map on the phone app will just be the same as what you open with the next time. But for tasks and hazards, if you do have notifications turned on, you will get a notification as soon as a task or hazard has been completed or recorded. A task only if it's assigned to you, and for a task you will get notified at 8 AM the day before a task is due as well. Cool. So that hopefully answers that question there. There's another question that Tina, who is in the background here from our support team answering a few questions, has answered. And I'll just read that one out. So Emma has asked, with the hazard map being able to have different modes of recording, such as your shape point, etc., is this still able to be exported and loaded into Arc or Google Earth, etc.? Some of our contractors prefer this. And Tina has said, Emma, we have always had different modes of recording in hazards. The only difference is that you can now have different modes in one hazard type. So the map will still behave as it used to. So you'll still be able to export those hazards out into your shape files. Was there any others that I've missed? Don't think so.
Yeah, cool. No, thanks, Libby. And again, folks, just looking through some of those polls around what new features and enhancements do you most want to see in the FarmIQ mobile app. There's one there around ease of adding products, i.e. inventory with photos that went out on farm. And as Libby touched on before, that's what's coming up. So, really cool for us in terms of, knowing what you want. That is one of those next features in our roadmap to build that sort of functionality out there going forward. Couple of points there around which stock recording events should we prioritize bringing onto the stock list. And so, easily recording those events from the stock list. There's a couple of things there around animal health and deaths, again, which make a lot of sense. Recording those or being able to record those directly from the stock list, 100%. We'll build that into the mobile going forward. Cool. No, that sounds good. Well, we might wrap things up there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for taking the time, particularly lunchtime, out of your day. Hopefully, the functionality that we've released is, we're pretty excited by it, and we're on a bit of a roll now in terms of releasing new product, new features, new enhancements, and new integrations going forward as well. Some of those things that we touched on. Please feel free to get in touch with us anytime through the support desk, 0800 FarmIQ. Keen to know what it is that you want, what it is that, if you've got any questions around any of that sort of functionality. We're really excited by all of those features that we have released, but personally, I'm really pumped by the NZFAP dashboard. Again, many of our sheep and beef users will be members of NZFAP or NZFAP+. Feel free to use it, get stuck in there, and provide us some feedback. We want to make that as easy as possible for all our users, keeping up to date with all your insurance programs, whether that be keeping up to date with Fonterra, Synlait, NZFAP, NZFAP+, etc. So, on my behalf, thank you for your time and your attention. We will send a recording of this webinar out to all people that registered. Outside of that, goodbye, and I'll let Rebecca and Libby say thanks and have a great afternoon.
Thanks for your time. Have a good evening, or afternoon and evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.